Today, let's see the 14 major differences between C and Java. C was the first language introduced and it was developed by Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell's company during late 1980s. But Java was developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystem in the year 1995. So these were the authors and the place where it was developed for C and C++. Coming to what type of languages, C is an procedure oriented programming language. Coming to Java, Java is a pure or object oriented programming language. Everything in C is related to procedures, and but in Java everything is an object. You have a class, you have objects, whereas in C you don't have classes and objects as like in Java. And coming to execution, C is compiled language, and whereas Java is interpreted. Compiler, what it does is compiles the whole program at a time. So overall time will be less. So C is comparatively speed and faster than Java. But coming to Java, as it is interpreted, it takes more time as it interprets each and every line of the code. So comparatively, Java is slower than C. Coming when we see the overall time. Coming to C, C is a low-level programming language, or you can say it's a middle-level programming language, but you cannot say C is a high-level programming language. But Java is a high-level programming language, and C was the base for many other programming languages to start with. So C and Java always be in trend, no matter whatever happens. But no, no other language can overtake C because it's the base, and many other languages like C++, Java, they are written in C. So they be in trend always. Coming to programming approach, Java has a bottom up approach, whereas C is a top down programming approach. C follows top down. That means you have a city A and you have to reach to city C. So from A you start, move to X, from X to Y, Y to C. Your destination is reached. Coming to Java, what it does is it starts from low level. All the chunks it combine and then reach to the main level or root. So programming approach in this way we can say that Java has a bottom up approach and C has a top down programming approach. And Java is used mainly for development like Android and all, but C is also useful. It's used for building a kernel. Kernel can be built on with the low level language like C, and with Java we can build high end applications using frameworks. Even we can use go with the web development kind of thing that's not supported or allowed by C, like high-end applications and all. So this was regarding the programming approach of both C and Java language. When you talk about pointers, C had pointers and Java does not have pointers. That doesn't mean that Java doesn't have pointers completely. In C, users used to manually handle pointers, but Java doesn't allow the users to handle those. It does it implicitly. Like pointers is nothing but stores the address. So here in Java also we do have variables, we do have addresses of those, but users don't handle those manually. Java do it for us, or You can say that Java uh, doesn't allow users to deal with pointers. It does itself. As said, Java has pointers but don't allow users to deal with pointers. It does implicitly or inside it. It handle those pointers because there were like dangling pointers kind of misconceptions when we use C, like we had dangling pointers and while pointers, null pointers, all those dangling pointer pointing nowhere, then it hang in between. So to remove all those stuff and kind of thing, Java has removed the concept of pointers and don't allow the users to handle those pointers manually. But it do it implicitly or inside the JVM or any Java virtual machine. Coming to this malloc, calloc, all these were there in memory allocations, dynamic memory allocation. So you called. So malloc is to allocate the memory, and free is used to deallocate or free the memory which is allocated. They are not there in Java, and they were there in C. But here in Java we have a default garbage collector that all takes care of freeing the memory. The spelling of the default is wrong. Sorry for that. It's default. You didn't know until I tell it, right? So Java, you have a new keyword. You can allocate memory using a new keyword, but deallocation or for freeing the memory, garbage collector takes care of it. Once you create the object and it's done, then garbage collector removes or free the variable. Coming to memory management, in C, users manage the memory like by using malloc. We create using free. We remove the variables memory. But in Java, as said, garbage collector automatically take care of memory management and frees the memory once variable is used in a function for what purpose it has to be used. And using new, we can allocate memory in Java. So this was regarding the memory management. So coming to when you see differences in Java, in C, users has to do most of the things, but in Java, like users task has been reduced and a machine or a language itself default takes care of each and everything. Users don't have to worry about it much, or a burden of like freeing memory and all is reduced by introducing these garbage collectors and all. So you can say that this made the language more powerful, more widely used as the task of user has reduced. So Java becomes the high level language and C be the low level language. When you talk about security, Java C is not at all secure because it doesn't have a access specifiers like public, private, protected. Everything be public there. Coming to Java, it provides security by introducing the access specifiers, namely public, private, protected. So if you know that your information is confidential and don't want to share among everyone, or only intended persons or person should reach your information, then you declare that variable class anything to be protected so that the information be secure without any harm to it. Coming to these OOPS concepts or features of OOPS, most of the OOPS features, in fact, all of the OOPS features weren't there in C, but coming to Java, we have overloading, where overloading means you use the same function name with different number of arguments and different types of arguments. For example, you take the function int sum and you take arguments int and float type. Again, you take the same function int sum, you take three to four arguments. So different types of arguments and different number of arguments. That's called function overloading. Coming to polymorphism, it's nothing but more than one form. Under polymorphism, we have runtime and compile time polymorphism. And coming to inheritance, we have five types of inheritance. And coming to preprocessors, C had preprocessors like hash define, hash include, and all, but Java doesn't have its directories, class, packages. Uh, to do the same, we have these classes, packages, and all, but we don't have any hash include and hash define. For hash define, we used to have pi values, hash define, and all, but in Java, it doesn't have any hash defines. Like in C, we used to have a preprocessor defined by the user, but in Java we have packages. Coming to input output functions, C had printf and scanf, that PF is printf and SF is scanf. Coming to Java, we have system.out.println and system.in.read. Printf is used to for print the output and scanf to read the input. Here in Java, we have system.out.println to display the output and system.in.read to read the input. And C doesn't support exception handling. Coming to Java, it does have exception handling. Java has exception handling, and those exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. Those exceptions are handled by try block, catch block. We have five blocks there: try, catch, throw, throws, and finally a finally block. So in this way, Java handles runtime exceptions. Runtime exceptions are nothing but minute errors that can be handled at runtime so that your program provides you the output. Though you have any exceptions, it handles, it tries to ignore those exceptions or errors called runtime errors and try to provide you the required output. So these were the 14 major differences between the language C and Java. No matter what, but these two languages will never be out of the trend, and C will never be because it's the base for many other languages, and still C is used in development of for kernels and all. So thank you for watching this video.